I found out my wife runs an OnlyFans, with my boss as her biggest subscriber. Have you ever had one of those moments where your entire world just shatters? Where everything you thought you knew about your life turns out to be a carefully constructed lie? That's exactly what happened to me 3 months ago. And trust me, by the end of this story, you'll understand why I can never look at my marriage, my job, or even my own reflection the same way again. My name is David. I'm 34 years old, and I thought I had it all figured out. A beautiful wife, a decent job at a tech company, a nice house in the suburbs. The American dream, right? Yeah, well, that dream became my worst nightmare faster than you can say, subscribe and hit that notification bell. It all started on a Tuesday evening. Nothing special about that day, just another ordinary Tuesday where I came home from work exhausted, ready to collapse on the couch and zone out to some Netflix. My wife, Sarah, was in our bedroom with the door closed. This wasn't unusual. She'd been spending a lot of time in there lately, always saying she was working on her online business. I'd asked her about it a few times. What kind of online business? I'd say. She'd give me vague answers. Oh, you know, social media consulting, helping brands with their image. It's boring stuff, honey. Don't worry about it. And like an idiot, I didn't worry about it. I trusted her. After 7 years of marriage, why wouldn't I? That Tuesday, though, something felt off. Sarah had been acting strange for weeks, more secretive than usual. She'd changed all her passwords, started taking her phone everywhere, even to the bathroom. She'd also been dressing differently. More makeup, fancier lingerie that I never got to see her in. Always saying she was too tired whenever I initiated anything intimate. I grabbed a beer from the fridge and sat down, scrolling through my phone mindlessly. That's when I saw it. A notification from our joint account. Now, I usually don't check our joint account that often. We both contribute, and Sarah handles most of the bills. But this notification caught my eye, because it was about a large deposit. $5,000. Then another. Then another. My heart started racing. I opened the app fully and scrolled through our recent transactions. Over the past 3 months, there had been deposits totaling almost $40,000. $40,000, all coming from something called Fan Central Media LLC. I sat there, frozen, the beer getting warm in my hand. What the hell was Fan Central Media? I did what anyone would do. I Googled it. The first result made my stomach drop. It was a payment processing company. For adult content creators. For OnlyFans. No. No way. There had to be some mistake. My wife? My Sarah? The woman who blushed when we watched intimate scenes in movies? She couldn't possibly be. I heard her bedroom door open. She walked out, looking absolutely stunning in a silk robe, her hair and makeup done perfectly. She jumped when she saw me sitting there. "David, I didn't hear you come in." She pulled the robe tighter around herself. "I was just trying on some new clothes." I stared at her, really stared at her. And for the first time in months, maybe years, I actually looked at my wife and saw a stranger. "Sarah," I said slowly, holding up my phone, "what's Fan Central Media?" The color drained from her face, completely. She went from rosy-cheeked to ghost white in about 2 seconds flat. Her mouth opened, then closed. Opened again. No words came out. "Baby, she finally stammered. "I can explain." "Explain what?" I stood up, my voice rising despite my best efforts to stay calm. "Explain why there's $40,000 in our account from a company that processes payments for adult content creators? Explain why you've been locked in our bedroom for hours every day? Explain why you're wearing lingerie and full makeup on a random Tuesday evening?" She started crying. Not the gentle, delicate crying you see in movies. Ugly crying. Mascara running down her face, shoulders shaking, the whole 9 yards. "I was going to tell you," she sobbed. "I swear I was going to tell you." "Tell me what, Sarah?" She collapsed onto the couch, her face in her hands. "I started an OnlyFans account 6 months ago." The words hit me like a physical blow. I actually stumbled backward a step. My wife, the woman I'd pledged my life to, the woman I'd been faithful to for 7 years, was selling intimate content of herself to strangers on the internet. Why? It was all I could manage to say. Just that one word. Why? She looked up at me, tears still streaming. We needed the money. Your salary isn't enough, David. It's never been enough. We're drowning in bills, the mortgage, my student loans. I found a way to help, and I took it. By selling pictures of yourself? By doing God knows what on camera for strangers? My voice cracked. I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience, watching this happen to someone else. It's not like that, she protested, standing up. It's artistic. It's empowering. I'm in control of my own body, and— Stop, I interrupted. Just stop with the justifications. If you needed money, we could have talked about it. I could have gotten a second job. We could have made a plan together. Instead, you went behind my back and— I couldn't even finish the sentence. She reached for me, but I stepped back. David, please, try to understand. The money is good. Really good. We can finally breathe. We can save for that trip to Europe you've always wanted. We can— I don't want blood money, I shouted. The words echoed in our living room. I don't want money you made by betraying our marriage. It's not betrayal, she shot back, her tears turning to anger. It's just business. I'm not cheating on you. I'm not sleeping with anyone. It's just content. Just pictures and videos. It doesn't mean anything. I laughed. Actually laughed. A bitter, hollow sound that didn't sound like it came from me. It doesn't mean anything? Sarah, you've been lying to me for 6 months. 6 months! Looking me in the eye every single day and lying. What else doesn't mean anything to you? Our vows? Our marriage? She opened her mouth to respond, but I held up my hand. I can't do this right now. I need to think. I grabbed my keys. I'm going for a drive. David, wait! But I was already out the door. I drove aimlessly for hours. My mind was racing, cycling through every emotion possible. Anger, betrayal, confusion, humiliation. How many people knew? How many men had seen my wife in ways that were supposed to be just for me? How many people at work might have stumbled across her content? Oh God, work. I pulled into a gas station parking lot and just sat there in the darkness. I needed to see it. I needed to know exactly what she was doing. I pulled out my phone and with shaking hands searched for OnlyFans, creating an account, finding her page. And there she was, Sarah Sunshine 94. Thousands of subscribers, hundreds of posts, pictures of her in lingerie I'd never seen, videos of her doing things that made my face burn with shame and rage. The descriptions were worse, flirty, suggestive, intimate messages to her fans. I was going to be sick. I actually opened my car door ready to throw up right there in the parking lot. But nothing came, just dry heaves and the taste of bile. That's when I saw it. In the top fans section, a username that made my blood run ice cold. Tech King Mike. Mike, as in Mike Harrison, my boss, the guy I reported to every single day, the guy who gave me my performance reviews, the guy who'd congratulated us on our anniversary. Mike was subscribed to my wife's OnlyFans. Not just subscribed, he was her #1 fan, her biggest tipper. According to the public stats visible on her page, he'd spent over $15,000 on her content. $15,000! I sat in that car for another hour, just staring at my phone, clicking through her page, reading comments from Tech King Mike, comments that were way too familiar, inside jokes that I didn't understand, references to things they'd talked about in private messages. My wife wasn't just selling content to strangers, she had formed a relationship with my boss, an emotional affair at the very least, maybe more. How would I ever know? She'd already proven she was capable of lying to me for months on end. When I finally drove home, it was past midnight. The house was dark except for the porch light. Sarah had left it on for me. How thoughtful. I walked in to find her sitting on the couch, still in that silk robe, her eyes red and swollen from crying. She looked up hopefully. "Can we talk?" she asked in a small voice. "Mike Harrison, my boss. He's your biggest subscriber." Her face went white again, even whiter than before. You looked at my page?" Of course I looked at your page, I exploded. My wife is running an OnlyFans account. Yeah, I looked, and imagine my surprise when I found out that my boss has spent $15,000 on your content. $15,000, Sarah. That's more than some people make in 3 months. It didn't know it was him at first, she said quickly. The username didn't— At first? I interrupted. At first? So you do know it's him now, and you just kept taking his money, kept sending him content, kept having private conversations with him? She stood up, wrapping her arms around her. It's not what you think. We never met up. It's all online. It's all just business. Business, I repeated slowly. You keep using that word. Let me tell you something, Sarah. Business doesn't involve sending intimate content to someone you know in real life. Business doesn't involve building a relationship with my boss behind my back. That's not business. That's betrayal. So what do you want me to do? She snapped, finally showing some fire. Huh? You want me to shut it down? Give up the income that's been keeping us afloat? Because let's be real, David, your salary was never enough. We've been struggling for years, and you've just been burying your head in the sand pretending everything was fine. That's not fair, I said quietly. You never told me we were struggling that badly. We could have figured something out together. I tried, she shouted. I tried talking to you about money, about getting second jobs, about cutting back. And you always brushed it off. We'll be fine, Sarah. Don't worry so much, Sarah. Well, I stopped worrying and started doing something about it. We stood there, staring at each other across our living room, and I realized I didn't recognize the woman in front of me. When did we become these people? When had we stopped being a team? I need to know, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Did you ever meet up with him? With Mike? Did anything physical happen? No, she said immediately. Never. I swear on everything, David. I've never met up with any of my subscribers. It's all online. That's the boundary I set for myself. Boundaries, I laughed bitterly. You're talking to me about boundaries? Sarah, you crossed the biggest boundary in our marriage 6 months ago when you started this without telling me. I know, she whispered, tears starting again. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But David, we needed the money. And once I started, it was so easy. The money just kept coming in. I thought I could keep it separate from our real life. I thought you'd never have to know. I thought— You thought wrong, I finished for her. And now what? Now I have to go into work every day knowing my boss has seen intimate content of my wife? Knowing he spent thousands of dollars on her? How am I supposed to look him in the eye? How am I supposed to sit in meetings with him? How am I supposed to continue working there? The realization of what this meant for my career hit me like a truck. I couldn't stay at that job. Not now. Not knowing what I knew. I'd have to quit, find something new, start over, because of her choices. I'll shut it down, Sarah said suddenly. Right now. I'll delete everything, close the account, return the money if you want. Just please, David, please don't leave me. We can work through this. I looked at her, really looked at her, and I realized I didn't know if we could work through this. I didn't know if I wanted to. I'm going to sleep in the guest room tonight, I said, suddenly feeling exhausted. Tomorrow we're going to talk about this, really talk, about everything, the account, the money, Mike, our marriage, all of it. But right now, I just need to sleep. She nodded, wiping her eyes. Okay, we'll talk tomorrow. I walked past her toward the guest room, then stopped. Sarah? Yeah? Did you ever love me? Or was I just not enough? Not exciting enough? Not successful enough? She started crying harder. Of course I love you. I've always loved you. This wasn't about you not being enough. It was about— I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I nodded and closed the door behind me. That night, I didn't sleep. I just laid there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, watching my marriage replay in my mind like a movie, trying to figure out where we went wrong, trying to figure out if this was salvageable, or if we were already too broken to fix. And in the morning, I'd have to make the hardest decision of my life. Stay and try to rebuild trust that had been shattered into a million pieces, or walk away from 7 years of marriage because some betrayals are just too big to forgive. One thing was certain, I'd never be the same person I was before that Tuesday evening. That version of me, the one who trusted blindly and loved without question, was gone forever. And honestly, I don't know if I'll ever get him back. The next morning, I woke up to find Sarah already awake, sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop. When she saw me, she turned the screen toward me. Her OnlyFans account. Deleted. Gone. I meant what I said, she told me. It's done. All of it. But here's the thing about trust. Once it's broken, you can't just glue it back together and pretend the cracks aren't there. Those cracks run deep. They change everything. We're in therapy now, trying to work through it. Some days I think we might make it. Other days I'm not so sure. And Mike? I put in my 2 weeks' notice. Found a new job at a different company. I couldn't stay there. Not with that knowledge burning in my brain every time I saw him. Did I make the right choice trying to save my marriage? I honestly don't know. Ask me again in a year. Maybe by then I'll have an answer. But if there's one thing I've learned from all of this, it's this. Secrets have a way of destroying everything they touch. And sometimes, the person you think you know better than anyone can turn out to be a complete stranger. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my story. Drop a comment below and let me know what you would do in my situation. Would you stay and try to rebuild? Or would you walk away? There's no judgment here. I genuinely want to know. And if you've been through something similar, you're not alone. Trust me on that. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more real-life stories. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And remember, sometimes the hardest battles we fight are the ones within our own homes. Until next time, take care of yourselves. And maybe, just maybe, keep an eye out for those red flags before they turn into full-blown disasters.